Alright, so today I'm going to show you guys how I did my moon phase paintings. I started off by putting a base of white paint along the entire canvas so that later on my pour has something to slide around on top of. That way I don't have to use a ton of paint and it doesn't catch or doesn't flow enough. So that's what I'm doing now. After that, I go through and I add all the colors to my cup. I used a metallic silver, a black, and a white. Looking back, I wish I didn't use black. I would have rather used like a matte gray, but that's just personal preference. You can use whatever colors you want. And so I put all that in the cup. I think the only thing I had silicone in was the black, but that's just from memory. I'm not sure. Here I am dumping it out on the tray. I wanted to really stretch out that silver, so I did it in this fashion instead of a flip cup. I kind of favor pouring it out myself so I have some control of where the color goes. And then after this I'm going to move the canvas around to spread out everything, and you can enjoy watching that. And then after that I used a heat gun to pop any bubbles and bring all the rest of the cells out to party that want to show up. And here's a little overview of how it looked initially after the heat gun. More cells I believe popped up later on, but I mean I was pretty happy with this. And then after that, I started putting down the base for the moons. I used a larger cup to trace the middle one, and then I used a smaller cup to trace the four on the outside. I am going to use a master cup, which is the cup that I'm using right now. I marked it with lines to make different size moons, and then when I wanted to do the other side, I just rotated it so that it was mirrored. Then I took out some paintbrushes. This is what I'm going to use. A lid to an old cup, and then I squirted some black paint in there. Sorry for the shaky camera too. My like tripod mount attaches to the table, and if I move the table at all, it like bounces around like crazy. Here I am outlining the moons. Initially, when I did this, I wanted to cover the entire canvas except for the moons, and then I realized that I was going to be covering up so many cool cells and stuff that I just kind of did this like kind of black holy voidy kind of thing by not spreading it all the way out to the edge. I am going to do more dry brushing next time, but I'm pretty happy with the way that it came out. Here's a little montage of me doing the edges. I find that very satisfying. I then used painter's tape to go around most of the edge. I wasn't that worried if this next part was going to get on some of the painting that wasn't black, but that's just me. I then made some more templates using the same master cup so I could put paper over the moons. That way the star splatter I'm about to do doesn't get inside of them. I think that would look pretty weird personally. So here I am doing that. I just used some regular printer paper, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. And then I did some rolled tape and then just stuck it down on top of the moons. If you do the splatter from directly overhead, the paint won't get under the moons, so That's fine if it doesn't stick flat to the canvas perfectly. I used a metallic silver again because I think it would look really good shiny against the black, and it actually turned out to be really nice. So use a stiff brush. Well, I did. I would suggest a toothbrush, but I didn't have an old one laying around. And then I went through and just dotted some stars where I specifically wanted some, and some empty spaces or whatnot. Here's an overview of that. Next time I think I'm going to actually put in some zodiacs. I think that'd be cool. And here I'm just pulling off all the tape once it's dry. You can do it when it's wet, but I chose to wait until it was dry. Here's a shot of it right after. It looks pretty good, I think, yeah. And then here are some professional shots I did to sell on Etsy. And it's already sold, so I'm so glad someone liked it. And I hope you guys do too.